right, welcome to Tuesday on Friday. I missed this last Tuesday. I apologize for that. We got Robert from Omaha in the house, I believe. Yes, good morning, good afternoon. We got David Englehart. Thanks for reaching out, David. I really appreciate that. I had a lot of people reach out to me like, "Wait, what's going on? Are you okay? Where you at?" And I missed Tuesday. I was traveling, and my internet, nothing worked. I mean, I had a lot of technological challenges. I don't know what was going on, but I tested the system out today, and everything is working fine. So, positive impact, common understanding of terms, absolutely. And Steve, absolutely. Define terms. So I tell you, while cheering, hey, we're here's Tommy. Hey, Freddie B. How's it going, sir? Good to see you online. So, over the last couple, man, it seems like every session, whenever I'm speaking around code requirements and things of that nature, I constantly go back to Article 100 for defined terms. And over this past week, I had various opportunities to talk about code requirements for either new solutions coming to the market that we haven't seen yet before. And those are always really good. I mean, when I'm speaking with people who are designing new solutions that probably are going to change how our electrical distribution systems are employed, we constantly look at a widget and we say, okay, here's this device. And then I'll ask the questions, well, what does it do? How does it do it? And then as they're describing it, I'm thinking Article 100, I'm trying to think of defined terms, or I'm thinking about, different technologies, different requirements, different articles in the National Electrical Code. But it always comes back to a definition. And once you understand what the defined term is, it's that gateway into the National Electrical Code requirements. Once I know what a branch circuit is, once I know what a feeder is, once I know what a service is, service conductors, we in this last code cycle, or I don't know if it's the 2026 code or the 2023 code, I'm not sure which one it is, but they defined I think it was the 2023 National Electrical Code made a definition for the high impedance grounded systems. They identified and defined a conductor that is a portion of the circuit that was never defined before. And it's important that we define it because then we know what the requirements are, right? So we got Willie Snyder in the house. Do we have a Q&A Friday? Looks like you're back home. Yes, I am back home. I'll tell you what, Willie, it has been a journey and a half. I've been in three different countries, about 5 or 6 different states, and I still think I am 6 hours. I'm missing 6 hours somewhere. France was 6 hours ahead, and it takes 2 days. It's an overnight trip to get out there. You can't sleep on the plane, so you lose that sleep. You get a few hours in the afternoon, then you're in meetings in the evening and meetings all day. And you guys and gals know how committee meetings go. It's like they're never ending, and then there's task group work. There's work in the evening, trying to prep for the next day. There's no sleep till Brooklyn. So anyway, my screen seems dark. I can change that. How does that look? Is that better? Robert, thank you. And Willie, this is an IAEI News Live. Right there. I am doing my Tuesday session on Friday, so pretend like today is Tuesday. It's Tuesday on Friday. So I know everybody's looking forward to 2 days of a weekend, but that just might not happen because it's only Tuesday. All right, so define terms. So I thought I would do today is think about a few key terms. Hey, Eric, good morning. You know what? I know what Eric, not too many people probably even got that reference except for you. That's hilarious. That's so funny. It's a Beastie Boys reference. And I'll probably get dinged from YouTube for it too. Anyway, gooder could get a little brighter. Oh man, I don't know if I can get that much brighter. You sure you got your glasses on, Robert? Anyway, so I thought it would be kind of cool to look at a few terms that get you into a gateway, into a code requirement. Just as some examples, I'm going to. You can tell when my brain is not thinking as fast as my lips will move because the I'm going to turns into I'm gonna. So I am going to, let's take a look at the term appliance first. Since it's in the A's, why the heck not? I think this term is important for a couple reasons. Let me do this. I am going to close this over here. And I am going to open another. Here's the thing. I know most of you guys and gals who watch my stuff all understand the value and importance of NFPA link when you can get. I can't get that to work. I'm going to drag this over here. And I am going to go to NFPA link, not GoDaddy. Where is NFPA link? It has this nice little square symbols. 70. Okay, so we said we were going to I want to take a look at the term appliance first. And what I've done is I have two different screens. This one's going to be really dark for you. I've got my appliance defined term here, and I've got NFPA link up over here, so I can flip through both of these. But get your copy of NFPA link open, or open your code book, and let's take a look at and I'm looking at the 2023 code cycle. I can bring up the 2026 to see if there were any changes to some of the terms that we are going to review. I will put that on our radar. But let's take a look at the defined term appliance. First of all, what does the understanding what an appliance do for us? It takes us over to, if you think about an appliance, if I'm trying to navigate the National Electrical Code, I would say I've got to figure out where would I go in the National Electrical Code to identify the requirements around appliances. Hey, good morning, Steve. Where would I go to find the requirements? It's probably not going to be in wiring protection. It's probably not going to be in wiring methods and materials. Equipment for general use. Pretty good chance that appliances are going to be there. It's not going to be an occupancy. I don't know anybody who lives inside of an appliance. Special equipment, I wouldn't consider appliances special equipment. It's definitely not a special condition, and I don't know, some appliances communicate, but and maybe you would have to go to Chapter 8 for those appliances that may communicate. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at the definition. But I would go to equipment for general use, and then I would search down through here to see if there was anything that deals with appliances. And lo and behold, we have Article 422 for appliances. So once I understand what it is I'm looking at, understanding the defined term of an appliance and what an appliance is, then I know where to go in the National Electrical Code to find the requirements for that which I am looking at. All right, so Freddie B, 422, you are the man, the legend. So the important thing I think to do is to understand that an appliance is utilization equipment, and I know I'm pretty dark on this one because that I don't have enough light and I don't have the right anyway. Utilization equipment generally other than industrial that is fastened in place, stationary or portable. Okay, so fastened in place. You'll notice this language right here that was added in the 2023 code cycle. Fastened in place, stationary or portable. Now I know what fastened in place is. I mean, that's very descriptive. But what about stationary? What about the term stationary? I need to figure out what is stationary, and I don't believe, let's see if how many times we use the term stationary in the code. Let me go to all of NFPA, and I'm going to type in, what I'm doing now is I'm typing in, I just go into the search engine in NFPA link, and this is the value of NFPA link, stationary, and we can see every place. We have stationary used in the term appliance. We have stationary standby batteries, collector rings, stationary to a rotating energy from a stationary to a rotating member, combustible. So look at this. We got 8 pages, a total of 8 pages with how many each? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10, 20, 30. We got at least, let's see, let's take a look on page 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 80 places in the National Electrical Code where we use this term stationary. So, but it's not in Article 100. Oh, stationary is applied to equipment. Yes, it is. So this is beautiful. Stationary as applied to equipment. I hate that when it does this. I clicked on it. Stationary, stationary, stationary. Stationary is applied to equipment. Equipment that is not moved from one place to another in normal use. So that doesn't mean it's fastened in place, right? So it's equipment that is not moved from one place to another in normal use. So I can have something like a stove. I can have a stove that is set in place inside my cabinets, and I can have a spot for putting the stove and the oven, the oven stove mixture, you know, the whatever. I'm not going to be moving that from place to place. It's not fastened in place, but it would be considered stationary. All right? So the term saying fastened in place is very descriptive. The term stationary, so this is a place where we have a defined term, but to understand the term, there are other referenced terms that we need to look at their definitions. Okay? So fastened in place is clear. Stationary is clear. Portable. What is portable? I'm going to go back to NFPA link, and I'm going to look to see if portable is defined. Is portable a defined term? OP. Performance, plenum, pressure, portable. Ooh, look at that. So, this is an interesting one. All right. Okay, so this is something that we ran into during the 2023 code cycle. Remember, in 2023, hold on. Is a ceiling pedal fan an appliance? Is a gas furnace an appliance? Ooh, Well, we're going to get to that. We'll hold that thought. All right. So during the, hey, Travis Holderman, good to see you online, brother. Happy Friday. No, this is Tuesday, Travis. So for the remainder of the time of this program, it is Tuesday. I'm just saying, because this is Tech Tuesday, IAEI News Live. During the 2023 code cycle, remember, we moved all of the defined terms into Article 100. And in doing that, we recognize that there are some terms that are defined multiple times in different articles. So remember, prior to the 2023 code cycle, we had all of the defined terms were found in .2. So if you went to, I don't know, 690.2, 690 for photovoltaics, 555.2 for marinas, 517.2 for healthcare. If there were terms used that only applied to that article, they would be found in the .2s. So during the 2023 code cycle, we moved all of the .2 defined terms into Article 100. When we did that, we ended up finding instances like this, where you've got portable, 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 portable. And we've got two terms, portable, that are the exact same term. So portable, there's both of them, right? So let's take a look at, there's three terms I want to look at. Just the generic term portable. And you'll notice right here, they've got this 625 next to CMP 12. So what I know is that in Article 625, when they use the term portable, this is what they mean. I am not to use this defined term anywhere else in the code because it only applies to Article 625. The same thing with this is 660. What's Article 660? What's Article 660? It's portable, it's X-ray equipment. 517 is healthcare. What is 660? That's a new article for my vocabulary. Let's go to 660 X-ray equipment. Duh, X-ray equipment. The first two words of the defined term. Salute. So that definition of portable only applies to Article 660, and it's also governed by Panel 12? Why would Panel 12 have X-ray equipment? Why wouldn't that be a 517? All right, so we're gonna check something. 660, which is X-ray equipment, which I would have thought would be a 517 thing. If you want to know what code articles fall under the purview of which panel, so if I want to verify 660, I would go to www.nfpa.org/70. And if you scroll down to technical committee, you'll see the chair and all that good stuff. Committee responsibilities. All right. So 660 was what we were looking for. So if I go to panel 12, panel 12 has 660. There it is. So these are all of the articles that Code Panel 12 focuses on. Code Panel 15 would be 517. So there's your 517 for Panel 15. 660 is not in it. So X-ray equipment is under Panel 12's purview. All right, so now the definition that we would want to use, find, oh, look at this. All right, so portable as applied to equipment The defined term that we have in the National Electrical Code for that says equipment that is actually moved, or can easily be moved, that is actually moved. Wow. I don't know if that word actually, it don't make sense being there. Anyway, the equipment that is, just see how this reads. Equipment that is actually moved, or equipment that is moved or can easily be moved. I don't. The word actually doesn't add any value in that, in my opinion. Equipment that is actually moved or can easily be moved from one place to another in normal use. But look, it only applies to Article 680. You see that? It only applies to Article 680, and that's a Code Panel 17. So when I think of an appliance, and we were talking about the defined term in appliances, those terms portable do not apply to an appliance unless it's in a marina, or it's x-ray equipment, or it is, what was the first one? Portable was x-ray, 625, electric vehicle charging equipment. So now there's another portable power distribution unit. That's portable structures, portable substation. So there's no defined term for the word portable. So what we would do is we would do this. We would say, first we would move our coffee, and we would say Merriam-Webster Dictionary. We would go to the Webster Dictionary, and we would type in portable. And we would say capable of being carried or moved about. Used in many computers for portable. I would say that would probably suffice. So if we go back to our definition, we're building this out now. Appliance, we're looking at appliances. Appliance. Utilization equipment. Oh, utilization equipment. What is utilization equipment? Wow, we skipped over that. Is that a defined term? Utilization equipment. QRSTU. Utilization. Yes, utilization equipment is a defined term, and it's in Code Panel 1, so it applies generally. There's no restrictions on that. Equipment that utilizes electric energy for electronic, electromechanical, chemical, heating, lighting, or similar purposes. So equipment. What is equipment? Oh my gosh, do you see how this nests? What is equipment? Let me come over to this NFPA link. I'm going to look up equipment. Equipment. This is what you do whenever you get into an argument, right? So you're like, hold on, that's not equipment. So what is equipment? Equipment is a general term that includes, in fact, we did this, we talked about this term in one of our other IEI News Lives. Equipment is a general term including fittings, devices, appliances. So appliances are equipment. So when I use the term equipment, look at this. Look, in this defined term, it says a general term including fittings, devices, appliances. So an appliance is equipment. All appliances are equipment, but not all equipment is an appliance. Make sense? Because a fitting is equipment. Devices, any machinery is equipment. Luminaires, apparatus, machinery, used as part of or in connection with an electrical installation. So appliances is equipment. I love it. And if we go back to appliance, I mean, just think about if somebody says, well, I don't have to follow that rule because that's not an appliance. This is what you're going to go through. You've got to walk your way through the definition, and you need to identify all of the terms that are used. And some of them may be defined in the National Electrical Code. Some of them may be defined in Merriam-Webster, right? Appliance. Boy, I'm scrolling up instead of searching. I should have made my life easy. That's why we got NFPA Link to just do searchings. Sounds of it like that Leonard Skinner song, appliance, searching, appliance. Here we go. So back to appliance. Utilization equipment, which we know includes utilization equipment. Hold on. Equipment protection. I went to equipment. I'm looking to see if there is a defined term, utilization equipment. Control F. UTILIZAT. Utilization equipment. Here we go. It is a defined term. All right, so, okay, utilization equipment uses the word equipment, so that could be an appliance. Equipment that utilizes electric energy for electronic, electromechanical, chemical, heating, lighting. Heating, I saw a question in here, heating. Hold on, heating. Who asked the question? Heating, was it Steve? Air compressors, welders, battery chargers, stationary, portable. Air compressors, welders. Yep, I would agree with that. Freddie B says, is a microwave stationary, even if it's not bolted in place, not move in normal use? If it's bolted in place, I would say it is fixed in place. I would say, you know what, Fred? I would agree. It's stationary as well. Even if it's fixed in place, it's still a stationary. It's not intended to be moved. Somebody in here said, oh, here it is. Oh, it was air compressors. Maybe I thought it said air conditioning. Steve says, does presence of wheels make it portable? I would think that that's a good indicator. If you put wheels on it. Now, Steve, it depends on the purpose of the wheels. I have seen some equipment that's not meant to be moved around a lot. They will put wheels in so that when you do have to move it, it's easier. I've seen it on tools like table saws, where you have a table saw that's designed to be set it and forget it. They'll have these wheels inside so that if you do have to move it, you move it. But I would say that just the presence of wheels, I'm going to correct myself, just the presence of wheels does not mean that it's portable. It depends on the intended purpose. That's my thought. I mean, and remember, everything here is my opinion. You may or may not agree, and that's perfectly fine. Appliance equals utilization equipment equals equipment. So it says equipment that utilizes electric energy for electronic. So we have in the term appliance utilization equipment. We have a defined term for utilization equipment. In the term utilization equipment, we have a defined term equipment. And we know because of that relationship to equipment, it's an appliance. An appliance is equipment. An appliance can be utilization equipment, right? So utilization equipment generally, other than industrial, that is fastened in place, stationary, or portable. That sort of gets, what's funny is, it's like saying it's either inside or outside. You identified all possible applications, fastened in place, stationary, or portable. What other option is there? Why did we put fastened in place? It should say utilization equipment. Generally, I don't know that I agree with the language that was put in 2023. Fastened in place, stationary, or portable. I mean, what other option do you got? Can you think of another option other than fastened in place, stationary, or portable? I can't. Normally built in a standardized size or type and is installed or connected as a unit to perform one or more functions such as clothes washing, air conditioning, food mixing, deep frying, and so forth. So they covered, if you think about the examples, clothes washing, larger appliance, air conditioning. That's, I think that adds some clarity with regard to your AC units, which air conditioning is not covered. Some air conditioning. Ooh, we have an article for air conditioning, don't we? Or do we? Do we have an article for air conditioning, Eric? I would say I would go to standard equipment for general use for. You got flexible cords, industrial luminaires, appliances, fixed electric space heating, fixed resistance, that's heating, fixed outdoor electric de-icing, fixed electric heating, motors, air conditioning, and refrigeration equipment, Article 440. So calling something an appliance doesn't mean I only go to 422. If I have if I have an air conditioning unit, which is considered an appliance, I have a specific Article 440 for air conditioning. So, and then food mixing, deep frying, and so forth. I've never seen and so forth in the code. But anyway, all right. So hopefully that gets us, Eric, thank you for that. I got to find you. There you are. Freddie B. Many breakdown of equipment such as portable signal. Yes. Oh, man, yeah. Portable signal? Signal? I'm not sure about signal. Eric Hammond says, Einhorn is Pinkel. Pinkel is... You ain't right. Steve, a handle on top can make something considered portable also. Ooh. Steve, that's... you know what you're doing? You are looking at the equipment or the appliance. You're looking at the qualities of the appliance and determining whether or not it is portable, stationary, or fastened in place. And honestly, it's an appliance. Now, I can understand later in the code where we say if it's portable, you do this. If it's stationary, you do that. If it's fastened in place, you do this. But putting it in the definition, I just don't get it. I'm a small-minded, I guess. I don't know. Joe Bellantoni. We got to meet, my friend. Salute. And there may be words within the definition that is also defined in Article 100, such as the term approved, acceptable to the authority of jurisdiction. AHJ is also defined. Absolutely. So I picked appliance out of the blue. I didn't plan on it, but I like this definition for our purposes for this session because it demonstrates that determining whether something is an appliance or not an appliance, and then how you navigate to the National Electrical Code requirements based upon once you determine the applicability of the defined term to what it is you're talking about. And the fact that we have appliance, which is 422, I think I got that right, and then we have air conditioning, which is actually 440. So just because I've defined it doesn't mean I only go to one article. I've got to understand that all of these items are considered an appliance, but I may have an Article 422 that covers appliances, but if I have something specific like 440, I would go to 440 for those requirements. Very good point, Joseph. Yes, Eric. A refrigerator has wheels, but I would consider this as a stationary appliance. Eric, I would agree with you, and that's a good example of the wheels are there for when you need to pull that thing out, but it's not intended to be using. In fact, the wheels of a refrigerator don't rotate all around, right? They're all in straight lines, because the intent of pulling that refrigerator out is to get access to the back, whether it be to plug it in, or in my case, to find the leaking hose that's back there twice. Anyway, you can look at that and say, look, this refrigerator has these four wheels on it, and you know the intended purpose is not to be what did it say? Fastened in place. We were looking at portable, right? Portable. Oh wait, I'll just do this. Capable of being carried or moved about, and then the other terms that we saw from a portable perspective. Remember, there were two defined terms that were almost the same. One said a device intended for indoor outdoor use that is designed to be hand carried from location to location. That's a 625 thing. And then the other was hand carried. And then the other one was equipment that is actually moved or can easily be moved from one place to another, right? So I would tend to agree with you. A refrigerator is not intended to be easily moved from one place to another in normal use. A refrigerator in normal use, you're going to have that thing back in its spot. Normal use for, say, a table saw. I go back to stuff I have in my garage. Table saws are not designed to be. Some table saws are not designed to be moved around, although they may have wheels. Other table saws have wheels and are absolutely designed for moving them around. You've got to look at the construction and the intended purpose of, and understand a little bit more about the appliance in general. Man, I love this stuff. Eric. Fred says, definition equipment. Mobile has wheels. Definition equipment. Ooh, equipment. Wheels, Control F. I'm going to search for wheels. Oh, mobile equipment. Equipment with electric. Oh, man. Fred. So Fred's pointing out that the definition, which is CMP 14 and only applicable to Article 513. What is 513? 513 is another one of those articles I rarely get to, aircraft hangars. Equipment with electrical components that is suitable to be moved only with mechanical aids or is provided with wheels for movement by a person or powered devices. Now, what you can't do is cross-pollinate these defined terms. You don't want to say, well, look, the equipment, the mobile equipment that is a defined term and used in Article 513 for aircraft hangars says that if it has wheels, it's mobile, because it only applies to 513. There might be a reason for that. You may not have the table saw or the refrigerator in that aircraft hangar that you have to think about. But it says equipment with electrical components that is suitable to be moved only with mechanical aids or is provided with wheels for movement by a person or powered devices. And that is 513. If you go to 513, you'll see how the term is used, and then you'll know why it's defined and what the requirements are for that. So another aspect to our journey in Article 100 is understanding the application. So, oh man, this is a really good dynamic, because let's say I might say, look, I'm working on a commercial garage, and I'm going to be wiring or doing work in a commercial garage. So I go to Article 511, and I'm looking at 511, and I'm reading down through the requirements, and I find that there is a requirement for, a Van Ducky, and the Van Ducky has to be listed, and the Van Ducky has to be secured to the wall, and the Van Ducky has to be GFCI protected. Oh, gotta throw the GFCI in there. That's a definite reason to put a definition in Article 100, right? So now I've got this Van Ducky, and you go, what the heck is a Van Ducky? Article 100. Then we go to 100 and we say, all right, I'm in Article 511 for commercial garages. Here's a defined term for a Van Ducky, but it only applies in Article 517 for healthcare. So I can't use that definition for what I'm doing. And then when I can't find it there, then I go to someplace else like Webster or a building code or somewhere else to find out what a Van Ducky is. But hopefully, and if you don't find the defined term and it's not clear, I look forward to your public inputs. So sometimes your journey can start based upon the application and looking at the requirements. And then you say, wait a second, I don't know what this is. And then you go to Article 100, look for the definition and the term and its definition, and you find the term, look at its definition, you look at your application and say, okay, now do I have to follow that rule? You see how that's, you sort of bounce around a little bit, but it makes sense. All right. Very good point. I think that was you, Fred. Boom. David Englehart, Education Power, a.k.a. Robert from Omaha, asked, yes, I knew somebody did. Okay. Is it a gas furnace? So let's do two things, David. One, I knew somebody did. Okay, so we know that an air conditioner is an appliance. I mean, it's specifically called it out in the definition. And we know 440 deals with air conditioning. So I have an appliance, but I have an article that focuses on it. So now the question is a gas furnace. Let's go back to the word appliance. Appliance, appliance, appliance. Come on, man. I gotta scroll up. I should just search, but I'm not gonna do it. Appliance. So let's look back at the definition. Utilization equipment. And we know what utilization equipment is. We had a defined term for utilization equipment, remember? QRSTU. Utilization equipment is equipment that utilizes electric energy for electronic. So, a gas furnace. Oh man, you had to throw the word gas in there. Gas furnace is still going to take power. You need the blower and you need the igniter and all that stuff. And does a gas furnace utilize electric energy for electronic, electromechanical, chemical heating, lighting, or similar purposes? And I would say yes, it does, because you need electricity to turn the blower on, manage the relays to turn the different things on. So it's a control basis. It's a electromechanical or electronic. So it says the utilization equipment, generally other than industrial, that is fastened in place. I would say it's fastened in place. Normally built in a standardized size or type. I think it would meet that. Installed or connected as a unit to perform one or more functions, such as clothes washing, and I would agree with that. So I would say a gas fireplace is an appliance. But to David's point, we have in chapter 4 fixed electric. Oh, that's fixed electric space heating. Oh, you know what? 424, in my opinion, 424 and 420, is it 425? Yes. And 426. No, 425, 427. I think they have to get revamped. So if I look at 424 and what the scope of 424, it says covers fixed electric equipment used for space heating. For purposes of this article, heating equipment includes heating cables, unit heaters, boilers, central heating systems, which could be gas, or other fixed electric space heating equipment. This article does not apply to process heating and room air conditioning. So I would agree with you, David, that 440 424 would be, yeah, and you said as a gas furnace and appliance, that I would say it applied to 424. Amen, brother. Yep, all right. 440 is for AC. Yes, 440, thank you. I'm going, you guys are faster than I am. Yes, heavy RF transmitters are on wheels, but have, yeah, yes, exactly, fixed equipment. Love it. Yep, 440. Freddie B, there is listed in definition many variations of equipment. Signal equipment is one. Yes, absolutely. Might want to look at mobile equipment. Yep, we looked at that. Locations are critical. Yes, Willie got that one right. Locations are critical. So you got to go to where you're working, and then you'll understand how the term is used. Type in the search for mobile equipment. There are 46. Mobile equipment has 46 references. Well, I'll be. Search. If I do this and do mobile equipment, yep, so it's 10, 20, 30, 40, and yours probably 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, so this is mobile home service equipment. So I think, let's do this. I think if you put quotes around this, mobile equipment, there's mobile equipment. You get more now, like 20, because now it's mobile equipment together, right? So mobile equipment shell, mobile equipment. So now we have 20 locations, and that's just a feature of the search engine inside of NFPA link, right? So put quotes around it to only find those. And then another thing, I learned this. You want to uncheck include enhanced content, because if you include it, it may find terms that are used in the enhanced content and not in the parent text, in the requirements. So now when I uncheck this, now it only searches the code language itself. Make sense? NFPA link is a powerful tool. And when you use it, and if you, little tricks like that, like for searching, and another trick I learned recently, which I learned on this YouTube channel from, I think, David Engelhart. When you're looking at a table, you can fix the header. I blew my mind. I've been using it, and I didn't know that for how long. So, Fred, thank you for that. 46 references. We narrowed that down to 20-some references. Mobile locations are critical. Type search from, there it is. Willie says, I know you love my public inputs. Hey, I love everybody's public inputs, Willie. There is no code article for gas furnace. You know what? Here's the thing, Robert. Here's my thought on that. If I looked at fixed electric space heating equipment, it doesn't call out electric. It just says equipment used for space heating. It doesn't say it has to be electric. Oh, it says electric equipment. Fixed electric equipment. Wow. I was going to say, it doesn't say fixed electric equipment for space heating. All right, hold on. For the purpose of this article, heating equipment includes heating cables, unit heaters. I see what you're saying, because it says fixed electric space heating. So I'm going to agree with you. Even though you're pulling power to it to control it, what would you put that under? What do you guys think of that one? This is a good one, guys. And gals. What do you think of, how do you handle How do you handle that? So Eric is going back to Eric. Whoa, Eric is going back to 422 appliance, and you know what? I would. We know it's an appliance. I'm tending to agree because we know it's an appliance. We know it doesn't fit. We know it doesn't fit under 440. We know it doesn't fit now. It doesn't fit under 424 because it's electric space heating, and that would be an electric heat. So we know it met, and we walked through this. We said it meets the definition of an appliance. So I would go back to 422. Because you got water heaters, or there's central heating equipment. Central heating equipment other than fixed electric space heating equipment shall be supplied by an individual branch circuit. Permanently connected air conditioner should be permanent. So I like this. This is this is good. This is a really good discovery. Let me go back. I agree with Eric. Willie agrees with. See, Eric said that. Willie agrees. Yep. And there's your individual branch circuit, and we know what that is. There's another defined term. Individual branch circuit. Let's take a look at that one. Individual branch circuit. I think we talked about this. Last one of the other times. An individual branch circuit is a branch circuit that supplies only one utilization equipment. And I remember when we got into this discussion because we talked about, can I put a duplex or does it have to need to be a single receptacle? And we said I can put a duplex on there if my utilization equipment requires the two plugs. I can have an individual branch circuit that has a duplex receptacle on it as long as it is supplying only one utilization equipment. So I remember talking about that. I don't know if that was last week or if it was a week before. I can't remember. I don't know if last one was a recorded session. I can't remember. But in any case, so what did you say? The manufacturer's instructions require an individual branch circuit. Yep. I like it. Let's keep going. David Englehart. I seem to be digressing that 424 does not apply to gas furnace. Yeah. You know what, David? I was on that horse with you, man. I was on that horse until Robert bucked me off. And then Eric went, no, get on the 422 horse train. And I got on the 422 train. So I'm back to 422, and you've got a 422.12 central heating equipment. It tells you other than fixed electric space heating shall be supplied by an individual branch circuit. There are two exceptions. That's where I would go. You got storage type water heaters in there. That's where I would go. I love it. 422.12. Yep. Absolutely. And that is Freddie B. brought us there. All right. So I got to go back up. We got diverged. So there's a listed in definitions, many variations of equipment. Signal is one. I saw that. Might want to look at. I saw that one. Locations are critical. We saw that. I know you love my public inputs. Always love your public inputs. Tom, the gas fireplace is... Tom, the gas fireplace is different from gas furnace. Yes, it is. Amen. Salute. Quotation cuts it to 19. Yes, Fred. Yeah, when you're searching. So another little trick for two tricks we learned today. One new trick we learned today about the quotes. I knew about the quotes. The other trick that I learned in this dialogue, I believe it was from David Englehart, was the fixing the headers and tables. Man. Gas furnace, Article 422. Eric, I'm with you. Willie agrees with you. Manufacturer's instructions. It seems to be digressing. Yes, 422.12. Eric Hammond nailed it at Fred B. Amen. I would need to see the manufacturer's instructions call that stackable washer dryer as one piece of utilization equipment. Well, if they're connected, stackable, in my opinion, Willie, stackable is two separate. I don't know that it would be one equipment. That's just my opinion. Now, if the manufacturer shipped it in two units and they're designed to be, secured together as one unit, I don't know. You may get away with calling it a single appliance. I don't know. But I think I would. I think a stackable. I don't know. Stackable units. That's a good question. I don't know if I would call that two appliances. I think I would call it two appliances. That's my gut tells me that they're two appliances. Why would you think different? I don't know why anybody would think different. But anyway. Susan in the house. Thank you for joining in. And I hope Tennessee is treating you well. Hopefully Bobby Joe and I will be getting down to Nashville again soon. We're planning another little trip. We like to do a overnight trip. So we fly out of Pittsburgh early in the morning on Saturday. Get down there around. We land. I think the flight is a Southwest flight. It lands at like 8:30 in the morning, and then we leave Sunday night. So we get at least 2 full days in Nashville. Laurel, hey, she may be late, but she's worth the wait. Laurel in Omaha, glad you were here. Thank you for joining in, regardless if you are sooner or later. Is the gas fireplace an appliance? Oh, I missed your question, Robert. I think a gas fireplace, I believe it's all one unit, right? If I'm not mistaken, you wire 120 to it, and it's basically an igniter, if I'm not mistaken. I would say it's an appliance. It meets the definition of an appliance. It's utilization. It's appliance. Utilization equipment, generally other than industrial, that is fastened in place, stationary or portable, normally built to a standard size or type, installed and connected to unit to perform one or more functions, clothes washing, air conditioning, and in this case, it's igniting. I think you have a 120 volt circuit, a plug that is powering. So I think it would meet the definition of an appliance. And then the next question is, where do you go for the requirements for that? It's not an electric space heater, so I'd probably go to 422. You have to protect an appliance in 422 and 11 to protect an appliance against overcurrents. You have a branch circuit shall be protected in accordance with 240.4, so that's a no-brainer. A protected device rated as marked on the appliance, so I think when mine came in, it told me what size branch circuit. In fact, they even gave me a receptacle with it, a duplex receptacle, no doubt. Household type appliances with surface heatings, infrared lamps. So I don't know if anybody disagrees. I would go back to 422 for that. I'd love to hear what other people say. Then you would need 2 individual branches. Now I get what you're saying, Willie. I see, said the bunny rabbit with no ears. All right, so what you're saying is if I have a double stack, the top and the bottom are, if I say they're 2 separate appliances, and where in the code does it say that the dishwasher a washing machine or a dryer has to be on an individual branch circuit? I don't think does the code individual branch circuit. Does the code require a washing machine and a dryer to be on an individual branch circuit? I don't think so. If you can give me a reference of the section of the code that requires an individual branch circuit, I would appreciate that. But I'm not convinced that a dryer or washing machine is required to be on an individual branch circuit. So if you point that out. Now, if you say, well, that's a part of the manufacturer's instructions, then you got to go to the manufacturer's instructions to understand if each of those are separate units. If I can buy just the bottom and not the top, or are they designed such that the bottom and top connect, they're bolted together, and they're one unit? I don't know. You would have to go back to the manufacturer's instructions for that, but I don't believe there's a requirement. 110.3. Oh, yeah, 110.3b. So you're going to manufacturer's instructions. So if the manufacturer says that they need that it needs to be on an individual branch circuit, then I would go back to the manufacturer and ask them what if both of those can be plugged into the same receptacle. Because here's the issue is, if they say, well, they both have to be on separate individual branch circuits because of the amount of current that they draw, and let's say that they said it was supposed to be a 20 amp circuit, and they know that they are on both of those pushing the limit for the 80% rule, they'll probably tell you need to pull two individual branch circuits. But it's not a code requirement in that regard. So I would go back to the manufacturer instructions, and if they're not clear, I would call the manufacturer, because what you're really concerned about is whether or not you are going to overload the circuit beyond the 80% that the thermomagnetic circuit breaker that serves that branch circuit. So that's the fundamental thing. That's what the little bit of, I guess, the depth of knowledge that you have. You would have the right questions to ask the manufacturer. Other than that, you wouldn't be violating the code outside of 110.3b, but 110.3b, if their instructions are vague and I can interpret it that both is one appliance, then it would be hard to reject if it's vague. So I would say contact the always go back to the manufacturer, Willie. You'll get your a clear answer in my opinion. Dan says, Dan, thank you for joining. No, only one laundry circuit is required. Anything else is specification, i.e. electric dryer, etc. So I would tend to agree with you, Dan. But now Willie is pointing out that the manufacturer's instructions of those double units is saying that they need to be on an individual branch circuit. And again, it's probably because the amount of current that they draw, and I would go back to the manufacturer and ask them, do I need to put the top and the bottom on an individual branch circuit? Do I need to pull a separate circuit for each? Is it like a total of 40 amps that I need, or is it that both of these together on the same branch circuit is fine? Laundry only additionally requires the laundry area to have a dedicated circuit. Laundry only additionally requires the laundry. So Willie says if the stackable is one piece of utilization equipment with two cords, then you can use a duplex. There you go. You got the answer. I would argue that those are not continuous loads. Well, I'd have to look at what the cycle time run times are. But I would tend to agree that they probably won't run for 3 hours. But even if they are not a continuous load, if you add them both up and they're 20 amps, or they're greater than 80% of, or not 80%, if they're more than 20 amps or they're 20 amps on a 20 amp circuit, you're going to end up tripping the breaker, right? So regardless of whether or not they're continuous, regardless, talking to the manufacturer and asking them If I put both of these on the same branch circuit, am I going to exceed the rating of the branch circuit? Am I going to trip the circuit breaker? That would be the fundamental question I would ask if they're both running at the same time, right? Because they will both be running at the same time. You take a load out of the wash, you put it in the dryer, you put another load in the washing machine. Now they're both being powered. So the fundamental question is, am I going to exceed the ratings of the branch circuit? Do I need to power each of them individually? If the answer is from the manufacturer that, oh yeah, you have 11 amps on the other one and 11 amps on the other, then you've got 22 amps total. Putting it on a single branch circuit, that's an issue. If they say, oh no, you can put them both on the same branch circuit, then you're good to go. Call the manufacturer. Don't try to make the decision yourself. Usually the dryer would be 240 and the washer 120, but have stackable that had used only the 240. Ah, interesting. I'm not familiar with stackables at all. I've never used one. I've seen them in pictures. I don't even think I've ever seen one in a house. CYA, run a 12.3 and call it a day. Get her done, get paid. I like the way you think, Dan. I love it. Get her done, get paid. Laurel, laundry branch circuit and dwelling unit 210.11B2. Excuse me, 210.11B2. What time is it? It's 1:07. 210.11B2. That's so. Oh, I've got to run. I have another call I'm supposed to be on, but I'm going to take a look. I'm going to be a little late for that one. Let's take a look at 210.11B2. Chapter 2. 210.11, because it goes to 11. 210.11B2. 210.11B is load. Ooh, 210.11 is branch circuits required. G. Did you have G? I think it's G2. No, it's not G2. C2. C2, laundry branch circuits. In addition to the number of branch circuits required by other parts of this section, at least one additional 20 amp branch circuit shall be provided to supply the laundry receptacle outlets required by 210.52F. This circuit shall have no other outlets. And 210.52F is telling us that in dwelling units, at least one receptacle outlet shall be installed in areas designated for the installation of laundry equipment. No worries, Laurel. You are a big help, my friend. All right, so I think we're golden. No, it's all in line with exactly what we're talking about. So appliances was we used the term appliance as our springboard for the discussion of the gateway into the National Electrical Code. The journey we just took as a team is what you would take from many other applications in the National Electrical Code. And I think it demonstrates how critically important understanding terminology is. And when we have a term that we use that is not defined, defining it and correcting any of those requirements in the code to align with that defined term bring clarity to the topic at hand. And clarity equals safety. If we have clear requirements, we will enforce those requirements accurately and correctly and as intended as part of the National Electrical Code. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Awesome. All right. Welcome home and have a great weekend. Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate it. Freddie B, 110.14 requires equipment marking, listing voltage and amperage. Oh, very good, Fred. You're right. 110.21. Excellent. Thank you, Willie, Mr. Snyder. Thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. Thanks everybody everybody out there for a great discussion. We couldn't have done this without each and every one of you. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And please stay healthy. See you next week.